Okay guys, you're going to have to forgive me if this video is a little bit angry and a little bit all over the place. I usually like to have a bit of preparation time and get some files in order before I make a video, but sometimes you just have to say fuck it. You know, you wake up on a bad day and then you suddenly find out that the council want to do another crime against Cambridge heritage and history. I now find out that they want to destroy this building. Okay? This is one of my favourite spots of Cambridge. This is one of my all-time favourite buildings, and I admire this often. And I was always waiting and hoping and wondering when they were going to restore this absolute piece of beauty, this architectural wonder, this absolutely gleaming white, old-style Art Deco thing. It's an old cinema. It's disused. It was built in the 1920s, I think, and it's been open and closed throughout its history. It survived the war period. It was a bingo hall for about 20 years, I think, and but it's been lying empty for 15 years now, and the council have just said that they're proposing to demolish the whole thing, and they want to replace it with, guess what, another angular grey-brown brick block of offices. Soulless destruction of the town. Okay? The only reason I found out about this is because of Anthony Carpen, who I appreciate very much, of Cambridge Town Owl, his website. He went to a meeting yesterday or the day before yesterday and found out about the plans, and he walked out in disgust and disappointment. And personally, Anthony Carpen says that he hasn't got the energy, what it takes to fight this thing anymore. He's been driven to the end of his wick, basically, and it's depressing and sad. So I'll just read a little bit out of his website that he wrote, the article that I read this morning, for your benefit, okay? You going? Okay, so I'm just going to read you Anthony's article here, because this is for your benefit, and I think it pretty much sums up the whole story. I've just returned from a consultation event funded by the developers and facilitated by independent facilitators, Community Regan. It was about the future of Cambridge's former Art Deco cinema building on Hobson Street that has been derelict and unused for nearly 15 years. It was one of those meetings where representatives of key community stakeholders, identified by informal networks found across towns and cities, is convened to sound out what should be done about / with something. Hence, why you wouldn't have seen any adverts for it. There was a reasonable representation of community organisations there, including Cambridge Past, Present and Future, Cambridge Carbon Footprint, Cambridge CVS, Cambridge City Council and Cambridge BID, among others. The big question was what to do with the amount of building space that has been allocated for community use. Reasonable question to have a gathering for. I had some interesting exchanges with the architects and the developers' representative about the building and their proposals. They made it clear to me that their preferred option was to demolish the Art Deco cinema building in its entirety and replace it with something more modern, stating that the building is in such decay and that the existing facade does not meet existing standards for the requirement of natural light for a building. Natural light for a building? What? Do buildings require natural light? Are they plants? They're not trees. They're buildings. Anyway, look at the natural light that's falling on this absolute beauty. A piece of beauty that they want to destroy. Another piece. When it came to debating what the community space would be used for... Hang on. The ranges and options available was inversely proportional to the amount of space developers propose making available for community use, mitigated by the peppercorn rent proposal for it. Essentially, their plan is for a narrow strip along the north side of the building to be that space, about the size of a large Keep Fit studio on the ground floor, with a meeting room sized space in the basement. The rest of the building, as originally planned in its current iteration, would become office space. More office space, because Cambridge needs much more of that, doesn't it? And here I'll show you the image. This is the plan. 5 floors of office space, a tiny little bit of retail at the front over by on the other side there, and then a little community room down on the ground. Okay, so that's what they want to do with this. Above, see those ickle bits of community space in green? That's about as much space as they've allocated, maybe slightly more on the ground floor, but not even enough to hold a community activity involvement, such as a ballroom dance class, or a dance club, or an acting studio or something like that, which is what people have called for it to become. But there's more than enough space there to have, you know, a ballroom, a dance studio, an art studio, a fucking cinema, and offices. You could have it all, and you could keep the front of the building. Why do you have to destroy the front of the building? They've lost their main class venue at what is now Downing Place URC following the merger with St Columba's and renovating their site. I don't know if I really need to read all of this. So Anthony Carbon said, I slipped out early. Furthermore, the feeling in the pit of my tummy wasn't outrage, but one of sheer exhausted disappointment. Perhaps it goes with the territory of my CFS plus post-heart attack convalescence, but I kind of don't have what it takes to be volcanically outraged about anything anymore. I've gone too grey in the hairs. You know, we can all relate to how Anthony's feeling, I think. You just get to the end of your tether over this stuff. Another piece of absolute travesty against Cambridge, another thing lost for future generations. They're going to wipe that off the face of the earth for money, for greed and profit and selfish gain. Another empty load of offices going unused, and we're going to go round to some other places in Cambridge. This is not just about this. I am angry today. This is the last straw, right? You can read Anthony Carpen's channel. Now, I'm going to pause it again. I just want to find another thing up here just to show you how absolutely ridiculous these guys are, the mentality of it. You on? Yeah? So here is an excerpt from the developers' proposed plans, and in their environment and, what do they call it? Environment and technical assessment. They have to do all these little assessments, how it's going to affect different things. And in the heritage section, they say, a number of aspects of the sites have heritage significance. These are as follows. The facade, that. Heritage. It has heritage significance. As you can see, it's bloody beautiful. It was built in the 1920s. It shouldn't be destroyed. Now their assessment of that is... Now listen to this. The heritage assessment shows that the proposal causes some harm to some aspects of the site's heritage significance, but that harm would be less than substantial. How did they come up with that? The assessment concludes that when applying the relevant policy test, the public benefits of the scheme would outweigh the less than substantial harm they would cause. So what they consider to be less than substantial harm to the significance is demolishing it. Yeah, it's not less than substantial harm, it's complete removal of the heritage. It's totally destroying it. It removes it from the face of the planet Earth. Everyone is going to lose that. All future generations of Cambridge are going to lose that. Okay, so that's what they consider a less than significant harm to its heritage significance. I just wanted to read that a bit out of there because that is just absolutely just crazy, and it just shows you the mentality of these guys who are working to ruin Cambridge. And it's not just this, as you know, everybody who's been following my channel knows this by now. And like I said, I apologise if this video is a bit all over the place, but I couldn't, you know, you just got to take the time that you got, and sometimes you just got to roll with it. I am absolutely furious. This is the last straw, okay? Like I said, we've got the Coat and Orchard. They want to destroy that. They want to close Mill Road, you know, for stupid reasons, for insane, illogical reasons, and we're going to go into that in more depth later on. The Flying Pig, we're going to go and visit the Flying Pig later on. Boarded up, just emptied, for no reason. They want to destroy it and build more offices. We're going to go and have a look at Station Road so you can see the kind of thing that they're going to build. They want to replace this with more soulless, carbon copy, factory, box cutout, straight, angular, grey, brown bricks. Soulless and nothingy. Right? They are taking every aspect of Cambridge which is nice, and they're ruining it. And the reason is because they're scrambling around for money, and the council are selling off every asset that Cambridge has so that a developer can come along, demolish it, build up a nice shiny building, and they all get a little bit of money, and then the building just goes unused mostly anyway. It's a complete travesty. People need to wake up about what's happening in their town. Pay attention to what's happening in Cambridge, everybody. Come together. But there's people all over the place. You've got like Mill Road Traders Association, you've got the CRG, CACC, those guys over in Cottenham, Cambridge Past, Present and Future. You've got the Seaset Busway over in Hawkston and Sawston and Shelford and that lot. You've got the Waterbeach one coming down from the top. They want to fill in the Newmarket Road, East Road roundabout underpass. They want to fill that in, completely revamp the whole area. They want to demolish the Grafton Centre and turn that into an apartment hotel without a car park. You know, they've already knocked down the New Street car park 2 years ago to build another apartment hotel. They're selling Shire Hall to turn it into an apartment hotel. That is what's happening in Cambridge. They are selling us out. People of Cambridge have got no say in this, and all of their power comes in their stealth and their secrecy and their lies and their corruption. And anything that you do to say about it, the worst that they can do is smear you and call you a conspiracy theorist. That's the worst that they can do. And that's what they've started to do to me, because I've caught onto it and I'm starting to highlight these issues for the people of Cambridge to become aware, right? Every county councillor and city councillor are guilty of this. They are selling Cambridge out and they are ruining it for future generations. And I am so pissed off by it. And I wake up in the morning and I see that. And it's just another thing after another thing after another thing. They talk about consultation fatigue. This is an absolute blitzkrieg on the people of Cambridge. We have no possible way of keeping up with it all. You know, Anthony Carpen's right. He hasn't got the energy to fight any campaigning anymore. There's no point. The people of Cambridge have got absolutely nothing compared to what they have. All of the millions and all of the money and all of the funding. And we can't do fucking shit about it. Yeah, I want people to come together, right? Unify, organise, join a committee, join a group. Don't just grumble about it on Facebook, right? My part of this is just to make these videos and to hopefully make you aware what's going on. And you are all aware of what's going on, and we know why it's all happening, all right? And it's not a conspiracy theory, it's true. You got this fucking guy, Andy Williams, used to be from AstraZeneca. He's on the board of the GCP and the Combined Authority and the Peterborough thingy. He's on the board of all of them. Andy Neely sits on the board of GCP for Cambridge University. He's also a director of Cambridge Ahead. Cambridge Ahead, just pause it a second, I'll get this out of my bag. Cambridge Ahead have a seat on the GCP board, executive board, represented by Andy Williams and Andy Neely. They're both directors of Cambridge Ahead. Cambridge Ahead is a consortium of investment companies, technology companies, pharmaceuticals, genome research, property managers, estate agents, real estate services, legal services, developers, consultancy firms. You know, that's it. It's 51 members. I'll share this list with you here. You can look this up all for yourself. I'm not making it up. These are the guys who are sponsoring the GCP and everything they're doing. These companies have got so much money amongst themselves, and yet they're going to charge everybody £5 a day to drive around because they themselves don't want to pay their fair share of the development of Cambridge. They want everybody in Cambridge to be priced out of their homes, their offices, their neighbourhoods, so that these motherfuckers can take over the land and turn it into offices, science, tech, labs, all of these things, and they don't want to pay for it themselves, but they will be making the profits. And it's the people of Cambridge who are losing out. And this is why I'm so angry and pissed off about this thing, right? And this is a prime example of what they're doing and why they're doing it wrong. Why can't they just restore the building? Why can't they just keep the front and fix up the whole inside? Turn it into offices if that's what you want to do, fine. But don't destroy what's nice about Cambridge. Everything I love about Cambridge, you are taking out one by one. One piece at a time. And like I said, your whole power comes in stealth and secrecy and lies. The more people talk about it, you get upset by it, and you can't stand up to scrutiny. You couldn't deal with me in a court of law. You wouldn't be able to answer for yourself. All of your paperwork is dodgy as hell, and I've spent a lot of time reading it, and it's all just for money. You don't actually need the office space. I'll go around and I'll show you how much empty office space there is in Cambridge right now. And as a matter of fact, that will be my segue to the next scene. And cut. So yeah, here we are. The Flying Pig. One of Cambridge's best places. In not only Cambridge's best places, England's best places. It was an absolute beautiful pub. It had live music. It had things all over the wall. The residents above, the landlords, had been living in there for 25 years when Pace Development, Johnny Vincent, bought them out about 7 or 8 years ago, and ever since he bought it, he's been trying to get them out, and he finally managed to succeed about 2 years ago. He wants to build this monstrosity, yeah, Botanic House. That's one of his. All of this space here behind the building, that's going to be another one of those. All of this is going, yeah, look here. All of this is going to go. That's all going to be knocked down, and they're going to replace it with more great big shiny office buildings. Office buildings. What's this over here? What's that? Looks to me like offices. Oh yeah, look at this sign here. Office space to let. Savills, also on the board, also on the membership of Cambridge Ahead, sponsoring the GCP and everything that they're doing. This pub has been boarded up for more than 2 years. Why? Why has it been boarded up? Why did they close it? What is the fucking point of that? I've also heard through the grapevine that they're going to start an illegal demolition over here soon. Sir, your bag's open. Your bag's wide open. They're going to have an illegal demolition starting soon because they're trying to rush it through. I don't know the full ins and outs of that story. It's completely fucked. Excuse my language. Anyway, let's go for a walk. Right, as you can see, office space to let. Office building right there, largely open and unoccupied, even though all the lights are switched on. How good is that for the environment? Perfectly good pub there, been destroyed. One of Cambridge's best local venues. Everybody agreed with that. It was a beautiful spot. You've destroyed it, you've fucked off the people of Cambridge. And this is it now. Like I said, you're going to destroy that cinema, you're going to take down the Coat and Orchard, you closed the Flying Pig already, you're closing Mill Road, you're going to destroy the Grafton Centre. Everything that's good about Cambridge you're taking down bit by bit by bit. And I'm telling you right now, it will not stand. I'm talking to you, Nick Gay, I'm talking to you, Neil Shaler, I'm talking to you, Dave Bajan, I'm talking to you, Alex Beckett, I'm talking to you, Andy Williams, Andy Neely, Eliza Machini, Peter Blake. This is it. It's not happening anymore. Look at that. I haven't got anything wrong with people building stuff. I don't. I haven't got anything wrong with you building a new busway. I haven't got anything wrong with that. I haven't got anything against it. Why can't you go around the Coat and Orchard? You absolute idiot. Why can't you go around the Gog Magog? Why do you have to destroy all the things that are good to develop Cambridge? Why? You haven't got any good answers for that. And this thing has been going on for years. And like I said, I've got to apologise, but I'm so fucking angry about this. And sometimes you just got to let it out, you know what I mean? You on? Exhibit number 2. Office space available to let. This massive building here is all offices. Across the road from an empty office block. A fucking plot which they're proposing to build more offices on. Yeah? Still going? Can you see that up there? Carter, the logo on the scaffolding. Carter are one of the development companies who are on the membership of Cambridge Ahead, who are on the board of the GCP. It's the developers who are benefiting from all of this. They don't give a fuck whether or not they destroy something beautiful or a heritage site. They just want to demolish it and build a new one. That's their job. That's how they stay in business. Watch out for the bus. Here we are, we're approaching the Cambridge station. Look at all of these buildings here. This is all new, as you know. Look, grey, angular, sleek glass, grey, brown bricks, identical looking office space. Office space, yeah? Apple are in one of these. You've got tech companies from America. Amazon have a HQ over here. All of the money which is coming into Cambridge is coming into places like this. Right? Look at all of this. Look up here. Look up here. Look at all of that. It goes on and on and on. Look, it goes all the way down there. Here. That way. Look. All of these are... There's a mixture. That's a hotel, I'm pretty sure. No, office space up there. There's a hotel around there. You got Cafe Nero, all of these chain stores. This is what they mean by development. This is what they mean by improving Cambridge. So yeah, here, this is Station Road area. You've probably seen this all night. Nice and new, totally snazzy. You have a hotel over there, office space over here, Gale's, Caf. I don't know, it's all a big mixture, but look. All lovely, beautiful. This is all developed by a company called Brookfields, I'm pretty sure. Brookfields did this particular project. They're also on the membership of Cambridge Ahead, sitting on the board of the GCP. This is where the money goes, and this is how the money gets made. It's great. You know, I'm not knocking it, it's beautiful. But what about the people of Cambridge? What about the heritage of Cambridge? Is this what you want Cambridge to look like? Is it just going to be a collection of Gothic colleges surrounded by gleaming 21st century office space, which is mostly empty because people work from home nowadays anyway? You know? But the councillors, they don't give a fuck about that, because this is how they make their money, because they're cash strapped, and like I said, they're selling out every little bit of Cambridge's property, and they're just doing it for the money. And they're using the environment as an excuse. They come up with all of these ridiculous ideas about sustainability and stuff. They do all of these reports. You've got consultancy firms get paid hundreds of thousands to knock up these flashy looking marketing documents. But what about the people of Cambridge? When are we going to get told? When are we going to get properly informed? When are we going to have our proper interests looked after? I'm asking you, county councillors, I'm asking you, city councillors, what are you doing for the people of Cambridge other than just selling everything out to billion-pound corporations and pharmaceuticals and tech companies and things? What are you actually doing other than lying to people? That's my question. I mean, look, over here, this is off on a side point, that entire Mill Road fiasco, where you've now decided that you're going to close Mill Road because it's for the betterment of the community and business is going to be improved, which it isn't. Look down there, can you zoom in on that red thing? The red bridge all the way down the bottom, can you see that? That's Carter Bridge. That is a cycle bridge purpose-built for cyclists to get over the train line. That wasn't mentioned one time in any of the documents, any of the debate at all. So it couldn't possibly have been for cycling safety. They were using cycling safety as their excuse. They were putting a bus gate on Mill Road Bridge so that they could get the money from the government. The central government is giving them tranche funding to block up the roads. What the fuck? And now, I just want to point this thing out here. This, I think, it completely exemplifies. This is completely typical. This is Cambridge today, all right? All of this money, all of this wealth, all of this power to create the worldwide attraction. We want to bring people in for their money and things like that. Here they come through the pearly gates to arrive in Cambridge, this wonderful, wonderful city. And look at what they see. What is the first thing that they see as they step into Cambridge? This has got to be the single most stupid, ridiculous statue I've ever seen. It is completely bonkers, it's bizarre, it makes no sense. But look, it's covered in a sheath and wrapped up. That's Cambridge. Yeah, this symbolises Cambridge right now. You're bound up and gagged. You've got a sheet over you and you can't see, you can't talk, you can't do nothing. While all these developers take your city from underneath your feet. That is Cambridge. Fucking nuts. Just one more point while we're in this area. I did mention Amazon. Amazon is in that building, the HQ. They've got like 3 floors of that. Amazon, the richest retailer in the world, provider of all the web services for all the governments and the surveillance guys and everything like that. All of the ANPR cameras, those are going to be hosted and supported by Amazon Web Services. So another aspect of the reason why this is all coming in, they want facial recognition, digital IDs, ANPR cameras all over the place, just because it's for money. They say it's for security and safety and the environment and things like that, but it isn't. It's about money. That's what it's about. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. Yeah? Apple. You see the symbol? You see the sign? Another of the world's most rich companies, one of the wealthiest tech companies in the world, they're here as well. Filming. Here we are, East Road, the Grafton Centre. Another thing that they're going to knock down and turn into apartments or something. Without a car park, the most important thing there. One less car park for people to come into Cambridge with their cars. Another part of this anti-car agenda, this regime to get rid of all cars or driving in Cambridge. Absolutely mad. Somehow they say that's going to improve business or whatever. Now I come here because there's 2 things about this street which is significant. Obviously the Grafton Centre, that was the latest bit of news. But East Road is one of the worst for congestion. Right? East Road is an absolute no-go for me. And you know what they've gone and done? They've only gone and made it worse, haven't they? With these bloody rubber bollard thingies. another thing that's reason why this is important, it's probably be on the other side of the road for this. Is it going? Mackay's hardware store. Neil Mackay is the 5th generation of Mackay who's run this shop. That is a family business that has been there since, don't know the year of it, 1912 or something like that. Neil Mackay's a great guy. His shop is a great shop. Go on. Mackay's is likely to be driven out of business by this congestion charge thing. Because why would you come here, pay £10 to come here when you could go to B&Q or order online or something like that? So that's a significant part of this street. But this is what I wanted to show you really. These wands have become a symbol for me, a symbol of the council's ineptitude, incompetence, arrogance, ignorance. You know, making a 2-lane road into 1 lane, making congestion worse, making traffic times a lot worse. But here's the secret that you don't know about. It's rubber. It's made of rubber. All of them. Right? So if you're stuck in a queue, you can actually drive over them. And a lot of these ambulances get stuck and things like that, but people could just go over them. They don't know that. They haven't told you that it's rubber. Now, the reason why I wanted to come here and show you that is because I have a message of defiance for the council. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But basically, you've done so many things wrong. All of the paperwork is dodgy as hell. There's conflicts of interest. There's dodgy deals going on. You've misused the consultation mechanism. You know, you've obliterated Cambridge with miniature schemes that people are against and can't keep up with. We, the people, have got no power. We can't do anything about it. If we were taking you to a court of law, we would win and you would lose. But the fact is that we don't have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of pounds. Look, there's the court building right there. I don't know if that's the actual court building that it would go, but Crown Court, you know. If we could bring you and all of your paperwork and all of the things that you've said that are wrong into there, you'd lose. For example, Peter MacDonald, I heard you, tried to defame Neil Mackay. Defamation of character, that's slander. You said that he incited violence against councillors. He never did that. And you know that he never did that. You've got no evidence to support that. But the fact is that you stood up on the public record and you said Neil Mackay by his name. And I'm defending Neil Mackay. He didn't do that. None of us in the CRG did that. None of us in the groups did any of that. You're lying. That's slander. That's a crime. That's a criminal offence. I want to take you to court. I haven't got the ability to do that because I'm not really rich. But I've invited you to talk to me. I've reached out to Dave Bajan. I've reached out to Neil Shaler. I've reached out to Peter Blake. I've reached out to the people of Mill Road for People. Nobody wants to talk to me. Is that a surprise? Is that a wonder why you don't want to go on camera with me and have me ask you questions? Is it because you know you're in the wrong? And why are you always... Are you recording? It is recording, yeah? I just didn't see the light on the front. Why is there no light on the front? Anyway, you know what you've done is wrong, and you wouldn't be able to stand the scrutiny of public spotlight in your face. And like I say, we haven't got the ability to take you to court. So what I'm going to do now is make a bold statement, and this is my message of defiance, okay? Is it going? Okay, so I was going to make a message of defiance, wasn't I? And I'll tell you what I was going to do. I was going to cut off one of those wands, and I even went so far as to buy a hacksaw to do the job. But I met Neil Mackay while I was in there, and my trusty camera colleague, partner, was uncomfortable with the idea of doing it. I was going to do it. I came within that close of cutting it, and I just thought, if I'm going to associate the CRG with criminality over this, I don't think I should do it. But I want you to know that in my head I did it. I wanted to do it, and I might do it one day yet on my own, secretly at night when I'm drunk, because those ones shouldn't be there, okay? But this is my message. It's still a message of defiance, even though I bottled it, technically. All right, fine, I didn't want to commit criminal damage in broad daylight, fine. I'm still going to come on to you, all right? I'm going to get you. We're going to take you to court somehow. We'll figure out a way, because everything that you've done is dubious, all right, to say the least. Dubious, you hear me? And if I'm going to have to do it, I'll do it in the legitimate way. I'm not going to bring criminality into this whole thing. My plan was to cut one of those ones off, and I was going to hold it like a baton, and I was going to fucking wield it heroically. Someone's dying in there. But my anger has subsided, alright? You know, the flying pig's closed. That's a shame. They're going to try and destroy the... Blimey. They're going to try and destroy the... Sorry, I'm distracted. There's coughing up a lung over there. Yeah, look, they want to knock down the Grafton Centre, replace it with apartments. They're going to destroy the fucking art cinema thingy and build more office space. You get the picture. I'm tying it all together. It's corrupt, and it's not for the benefit of Cambridge whatsoever. It's all being done by outside forces. It's all being done for money. It's being sponsored by development companies, consultancy firms, investment companies, real estate, landowners, that sort of thing. The university itself. They don't care about you, people of Cambridge. They just don't care about you. They just want to knock stuff down and build it new so they can make more money off it from office space, even though there's loads of empty offices all around the place. This is a scheme. It's a proper scheme which is going on. They use the planning process. They use the fact that they've got the council under their control. They can push all this thing through largely in secret, and then you only find out about it when you see a big sign going up and they start to knock your favourite thing down. That's the story of Cambridge today. This is what I've found out. And so yes, the message of defiance is still intact. It's still valid. Just imagine I cut one of those ones off, alright? I'm coming for you. Alright, if I have to stand in the next election, then I will. If I have to stand to be voted in as mayor, I will. If I have to stand to be an independent MP for Cambridge, then I absolutely will. If that's what I have to do to bring a stop to all of this stuff, then I will. And do you think that if I went toe-to-toe with you in an election, you'd win over me? Is that what you think, Nick Johnson? Or Peter MacDonald? Or Brian Milnes? Or all of you guys? You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry if that was a disappointing conclusion. I feel a little bit like a letdown. I'm disappointed in myself, to be honest with you. I wish I had cut that thing down. Well, there's still time. And you know, if one of those things goes missing, you're going to know who it is. And you can take me to court over it, and we'll talk about all of this stuff in front of a judge. Anyway, it's time for lunch. Yeah?